You care for peace, freedom, and democracy when you were at our age? Did you did any kind of work for it?
I'm still your age, inside. Don't pay any attention to this outside, you know. Inside, I still feel like I'm in my 20s, you know. I had a lot of questions in my head when I was your age, but it was a very different time. And certainly, civil rights was a major issue in America when I was your age. Um, um, as an African American, my own um, perception of myself was not the same as after Martin Luther King had its amazing triumph in bringing about voting for African Americans, voting rights, and also education, for the schools to be integrated. That made, but also even people like James Brown, when he wrote the song "I'm Black and I'm Proud." I mean, this was before that. There wasn't any much pride in the majority of the black community. Of course, for some there were, of course, because they were leaders. But anyway, those kinds of steps are what elevated the perception of an African American of himself. And so now America has in many ways fulfilled much of that promise. I mean, we can see the fact that we have an African American president. But actually, what we have is a global president, because he was raised for much of his life in Indonesia, and he's biracial, white mother and an African father. His father was Muslim, and so he has all, and he himself is Christian, but he really is a 21st century man. And I've had the great opportunity to meet he and Michelle Obama, to meet him and Michelle Obama on several occasions. They're really great people, really nice people. And when they talk to you, they look right at you. They're not thinking about who should I talk to next. They go right to you, and you have their undivided attention, because they really show respect for every human being, which is really great. Yeah.
Why do you participate to this kind of arrangement?
Why did I participate in this kind of event?
Yeah.
Because, first of all, excuse me. Back in 1972, I actually began to practice Buddhism. And two of the most important concepts that relate to each other are peace, world peace, and the other is the respect for the dignity of the human being. So human rights are basic tenets. They're at the foundation for Nichiren Buddhism. We believe that everybody is the Buddha. That this exists in its life itself. And so I've now been practicing almost 40 years. And so this is something that's always on my mind. How can I use myself as a musician and myself as a human being to promote peace, harmony, togetherness, openness, respect for cultures outside of our own. And so the new record that I have out, the Imagine Project, kind of embodies that concept, because I started thinking, how can I show global collaboration? I wanted to make a global record. And I said, it's got to be in more than just the English language. You show respect for other cultures through their language. So anyway, we have Portuguese, we have Hindi on there, we have Spanish, We have Irish Gaelic because I wanted a folk language too, and English, and we have one of the languages of northern Mali, and we also have Bambara, which is spoken in the more southern part of Mali, and so we have musicians from 11 different countries, and it took 2 years for me to make this record, but it really is at the heart of where I am as a human being at this point. And so when we were asked to participate in the Nobel Peace Prize event, I was thrilled, and I didn't even know who had been chosen at the time. And since then, I've found out about Liu Xiaobo, and I listening to his writings, and I'm really impressed by his attitude, because he's not blaming anyone. He's not making China any kind of enemy. He understands what's going on. He's part of a process. But he was put in a position to be actively a part of the process of China's growth toward acknowledging every aspect of human rights. And he is taking on this challenge and this struggle like a real hero for human beings. He's a hero for China. And one day they will all be proud of him. Even the government figures will be proud of the steps that he has taken. But it will take some time. There's, the Chinese government is in a difficult position because they have made certain decisions in the past, and to make them sort of an enemy because they're not acknowledging human rights. First of all, the United States cannot do that. We have not been the perfect example of human rights throughout our history either. So we have to understand that different cultures may take some time to get past the old way of thinking into a new global way of thinking, which must regard the human being as deserving of dignity and respect.